What's up guys, the Lazy Goldmaker here with another video in my Road to 100 Million series. So last week our sales took a little bit of a step downwards or a step backwards, depending on what direction you're facing. So I tried my best to get in a little bit more reposting this week. That's what I want to really put in quite a bit of effort into doing that. And it's paid off a little bit, so let's take a look at the numbers and dive in. So here we are, the big reveal. So obviously what I really wanted to do this week was to make this number a little bit higher than it was last week. And we did. We managed to increase it by quite a bit. Or we pulled in almost 2 million extra, 1.8 million more on Draenor, which is what I really wanted. Of course, my profit is not that high. This is the bad part, but this might have been because I restocked quite a bit on yesterday actually. But yeah, I might have spent a little bit too much gold this week compared to my sales, as this is a little bit too low in terms of profit margin, but it's pretty good in terms of raw profit on a weekly basis. So on that point, I'm happy. We're now sitting pretty at 38 million gold total, which is another step in the right direction. For the rest, obviously, on my other realms, we, as usual, didn't generate much. It was about 100k, which is typically what it's been. It was 80k last week. It was 100k this week. That's typically the range where the rest of my realms are. And I'm not putting in much effort on them at all. If I'd put in more effort, then probably we could have increased this to like 300k by reposting 3 times a week, but I don't even think it's worth the time compared to just spending that time on Draenor and making this number bigger, which is a lot easier. Like for the time I'd need to spend to get this to 300k, I could increase my number here by 500k by a million, most likely. So focusing on legendaries is definitely the play for now. As it was last week, as I realized last week, like this is the number that we need to focus on, and having a huge percentage of my sales on Draenor is not a problem at all for now. So yeah, we're trending in the right direction. Should probably hit double gold cap on Draenor and 40 million at pretty much the same time, because we're missing just the same amount. We're missing 1.8 million or just under that. So that's going to be interesting to see if we can hit that. Probably not next week, unless I pull a much higher profit margin. We'll probably have to wait 2 weeks. But we could see it go down next week. That would be a cool milestone to reach. And would definitely put us in a better trajectory towards reaching 100 million gold, because it's going incredibly slow. But I sort of expected that, because I'm not someone who speedruns these challenges or devotes all my time to gold making. I've never been that kind of person, even though I highly enjoy it. So there's that. Now for my sales breakdown, about 800k, actually a little bit less, 650, 700k of this is from the crafter's mark of the chain dial gear, primarily jewel crafting and blacksmithing, which is the only gear I bother crafting. Just because I end up with so many gems that I just want to get out of my inventory. And I use the chain dial crafter's mark to do that, which is quite nice. I could of course just vendor the gems because they are selling for vendor value. That would save me some time that I could dedicate to legendaries, but it's nice to spend my time doing something that's not cancel scanning. And when I'm doing crafting, like crafting loads of crafter's mark or the chain dial, I can go AFK and spend my time, whereas if you're trying to do cancel scans, you can't really go AFK. So it's just going to be slightly more time efficient to spend some time on those markets. So yeah, let's take a quick look at my sales. So if we pull up the ledger here for the last 7 days, and we're gonna sort by total gold as usual, we will see that of course at the top of the list here we have a bunch of items, a bunch of rank 5 and 6 legendaries, primarily rank 6, which is the one I prioritize crafting, for about 100k each. This is all rank 5 and 6. And then we have a gap down to 50k, which is where the most expensive rank 4 legendary that I sold this week. And then we just have a huge amount of legendaries in the 30k range. Of course, this is heavily concentrated in the few slots that I really stack a lot of, and people are just absolutely buying loads of the ones that are in slots that do not have a domination socket possible. Like the Shadow Gas Greaves was one of the best sellers before 9.1. It's still one of the best sellers. Like, look at how many Greaves I've sold on rank 4. I'm not sure if there's any others like specific, truly mentionable. Like the necklaces sold really well for me, particularly rank 6 necklaces. I don't know, might just be something that people aren't as competitive on that recipe for whatever reason. Very hard to know exactly why, but I've definitely been selling loads of necklaces. Been selling a good number of rank 4s as well. Consistently selling out. The other one that really sells fast is the Grimveiled Cape, but it's not selling for as much. As you can see, I've sold a bunch. These are rank 4s because cloth stuff is relatively cheap. These are rank 4s selling for 10k, which should be a good bit of profit, and they're moving at a very, very high volume, which is nice. So yeah, that's sort of the numbers. If we look a little bit further, we'll see some of the most expensive Crafter's Mark of the Chain Dial gear that I sold this week was in the 20k range, which is quite impressive. So if you have missives, using missives to get the most expensive variant can definitely be worth it. Like, I should probably have just crafted more of this. I don't know which combination of versatility and whatever stat it is. But if I had like another 4 or 5 of these, then I could have pulled out some more gold, of course. The opportunity should be sniffed out when it happens by someone who's alert. So they shouldn't last long. I definitely don't think they lasted long, because I craft a lot with just the random craft, and then I just post them slowly. And I only had a very few sales in like the very expensive range, and then by far most of these are selling in the 4 to 6,000 gold range. That's where the volume of Crafter's Mark of the Chain Dial gear is definitely moving for me. Overall, I'm very happy with this market because it's so easy. You don't really have to spend time on it at all. You just craft a bunch of them, and then you go post every day. You log in once and do a repost, and then you log off, and you're done. And you'll get anywhere from 50 to 200k per post scan, which is just really good. So I'm absolutely loving the Crafter's Mark gear. Still, definitely one of my favorite markets overall is these catch-up gear types, and I definitely suggest adding these to your routine if you don't already have them. But the big gold is here. The big gold is here. So if you really want to be rich, this is what you need and should focus on. This is the rank 5 and 6. Rank 4, 5, and 6 legendaries, that's where the real money is. That's where you really want to focus your effort. And yeah. So, guys, that's it for this episode. Make sure you leave a like and a comment down below if you're enjoying this series. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And if you're just super interested and you want the full TSM setup that I'm using to generate this, then you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll find the link in the video description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye, guys.